All right, everyone. Welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. And this video is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, don't know what Sidereal is, be sure to check out that link down below. We're using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so today we have the moon shifting out of Pisces the past few days, definitely more on the watery side of things. Themes pertaining to getting in touch with our intuition, letting go, surrendering what's outside of our control. But now as we go through the day, probably feeling slightly a little bit more of a theme relating to independence with Aries, right? Taking action, initiative, themes pertaining to that going into tomorrow as well. So the most important thing about the day is that Mercury is going to be going over Pluto. So it could be a very empowering day. Very good to face some fears, break some habit patterns. Things like this can be very empowering today. And also we are in the first quarter phase, so really good day to start to challenge ourselves towards some of the new insights or new beginnings we had exactly a week ago during the last new moon. All right, so let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Wednesday. As you can see here, the moon will be right in between Pisces and Aries, about midday for most of us, shifting from the more spiritual dimensions of Pisces this past few days. It has been, again, very good to access that intuition, let go of what's outside of our control, get into that receptive nature of ourself, and that's still great for probably most of the day. But as the day unfolds, as that moon gets better seated into Aries, I think it's a fantastic day to start to implement maybe some matters relating to independence. What do we desire in life? What do we want? What do we want to cultivate that's important to us? How can we assert ourselves and initiate things and take action and initiative to go after the goals we have or the things we want in life? All right, so really good for that. And the first quarter phase is suggesting that exactly a week ago we did have a new moon. It was in Sagittarius. So this whole cycle really is about manifestation, right? Opening our horizons, seeing the power of positive thinking or open-mindedness, right? And so this is now a great time to challenge ourselves. Now, whatever the area was about a week ago for you, particularly with the new moon, whatever new insights you've had over the past week, whatever new things you've wanted to cultivate, excellent part of the week to start to challenge yourself to do that. That's what the first quarter phase is. The sun and moon square each other. Very good for that initiative. And it might be, right, it might be a bit limiting. We may need to challenge ourselves and will ourselves to do it, but it does pay off. And I think a week from now, a lot of that will pay off during the full moon. All right, so here are the aspects for the day. There is this Mercury conjoining up to Pluto, the most important aspect we've got, and arguably the most important aspect of the week. So this shift of perspective, right? Also in Sagittarius, this conjunction. Mercury, the planet of our mind, of our more practical mind, but in Sagittarius, our belief systems, our perspective, our thoughts, all right? And also the planet of communication and routine, going through this transformation. All right, so a great way of working with this is that if there's anything here today that you feel like you can empower yourself to take some action towards or to do in the face of some fears, may not be so active for you. This might be in your 12th house if you have Capricorn, for example, but it's taking that initiative to face fears. And the sort of threefold process of this with Pluto that works so well is first becoming aware of the fear, right, if there is any. And it may come across as control, wanting to control things or avoid things. And then once we become aware of that tendency, this sort of pattern even with Pluto, the next step is to accept it, right? And then the acceptance frees us up. Once we accept the fear, the worst case scenario, a worst case outcome, or whatever it is that the mind might come up with, we accept it. We then enter a stage of non-attachment, right? We're non-attached to the outcome. And that's really what Pluto's helping us do, is to be non-attached, right? So approaching it with that perspective. And then the third step is then taking the action with non-attachment in the face of any wounds, patterns, right? Where we did want something to be a certain way, now we're open to change, right? And so great for that. Very empowering day. I think it's going to be collectively transformative. I think it's going to happen very naturally as well. But anything we can do to practice that non-attachment can help us get on the right side of this conjunction. So asking yourself, what are some things you can challenge yourself with, face some fears with your perspective, maybe with communication, maybe with routine, all right? Anything with that practical energy in your life or about yourself. Really good day to empower yourself to make some changes there, face some fears, break some patterns. Now, this does happen once a year, so this is kicking off a yearly cycle. All right, so it's still early, still new. This could be starting something new for you in a yearly sense here today. So still take it kind of slow, but I think it's all about doing that inner work. And as we do that inner work, naturally the external stuff will slowly but surely start to manifest. And Jupiter is very much supporting this conjunction. I do want to say this year we have Jupiter sextiling up to Pluto. All right, Jupiter the benefic, helping us learn a lot about this stuff, like see the bigger picture, right? Not to get too, like, we're likely not getting too narrow-minded with whatever this transformation is. We're open-minded. We're seeing the big picture, right? So there is support, and I think a lot of that will be mostly coming in tomorrow when we have the actual sextile to Jupiter. But just know that there is that ease about it. There is a supportive energy where we could be open-minded, and that open-mindedness could very much support us through this process, and maybe even bring in some opportunity with whatever this is that's empowering you today. Could bring in some opportunity either today, tomorrow, or maybe throughout this yearly transit. All right, so that's the most important thing today. Along with that first quarter phase, excellent day to challenge ourselves anyways, take initiative. We do have some minor lunar aspects. The moon is going to be going over Uranus. So maybe the first half of the day, feeling a bit like there's some changes you want, maybe change the routine, mix some things up. Could be a new beginning in a monthly sense with this, just feeling that way. And once we do have that conjunction, so this will be feeling probably a bit grounded at the same time. The moon is going to be trining up to Saturn. So maybe just feeling a bit productive, grounded, reserved in a healthy way. Patient, persistent, all that good stuff, which is great right now because the Sun and Venus are in Capricorn, so we're developing this over the coming weeks, right? Seeing the big picture, taking things nice and slow, patience and persistence. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. First half, still getting in touch with that receptive, intuitive side of ourselves, developing our intuition, but as the day unfolds, seeing where we can take initiative, right? Where we can claim some of this independence, pursue our desires, our goals, things like that, and then transform ourselves today, right? In the face of anything, any inhibitions that by doing so can break some patterns and free us up. All right, so have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast.